So there's been a lot of talk online about heat drying versus air drying your wash and go. And it seems like a lot of the stuff that's being said right now is more so about air drying being damaging to the hair. And I kind of get what they're saying with that, but I feel like I personally can't sit here and strongly argue up and down that air drying is damaging or harmful to the hair when it just doesn't really seem to be something that would be majorly bad for the hair. I'm going to need to see a little bit more evidence for that. I'm going to need to see a little bit more like people applying it for a long period of time before I can fully say with my whole chest that air drying is damaging to your hair. However, what I will say is that air drying is not the best option when it comes to drying your natural hair in a wash and go. And it's just for reasons that aren't really about damage and your hair being hurt. And they're more so about you're just not going to get the best wash and go possible. Hello everyone, Kayla here, and this is What the Kink, a natural hair channel. So yes, let's talk about the whole heat drying thing. I think the one reason why people are air drying their hair over heat drying is because they are worried about damage from heat drying their hair. Yes, still in 2023, I still see people worrying about the heat that they're applying to their hair. So here's the deal. There is direct heat and indirect heat. Direct heat is things like flat ironing. So you're literally directly putting the plates of the flat iron on your hair and pressing your hair in it. Or if you are doing a form of blow drying where you are directly, like especially if you have a comb attachment, which I've noticed people are not really using the comb attachments as much, as far as like, if you see people in a salon, they don't really seem to be using the comb attachments as much. But like directly putting that comb in your hair and blow drying directly onto the hair. That's what direct heat is. Then there's indirect heat. And so the heat from a diffuser or the heat from a hair dryer, like you're sitting under the hair dryer, which is also diffuse heat as well. Those are indirect forms of heat. It's almost on the level of sitting outside in the direct sunlight, like, you know, how your head tends to get a little hot because it's feeling, you know, like, oh, exposed to the sun, which by the way, scalp cancer is a thing. Check that out. Side note completely, but I thought of it while I was talking. But anyway, those are forms of indirect heat. You are not going to get damage from using those forms of heat. They are not inherently harmful to the hair. So the main reason why I prefer heat drying over air drying is because it is difficult for my hair, and what I've seen for other people's hair, to develop a proper gel cast, and if you use botanical gels, for your hair to properly cure. I'm going to talk about what those two things mean because I have been asked about cast and curing. But basically what I'm saying is, if you air dry your wash and go, you are inviting the possibility for frizz. Your hair is more likely to expand and poof because it has time to do so. So the first term, let's talk about the cast, okay? So there's something called a gel cast. That's what you want to form around your hair. And so a gel cast is very similar to like when you get an actual cast on your arm or a cast on your leg or something like that. So the purpose of that cast is to hold your bone or what have you in place until it fully sets and repairs, and then you don't need the cast anymore, and then you get the cast removed at the doctor, and voila, you're back in action. And so the cast on your hair works the same way. The products that you've used on your hair harden. They form a cast and it holds your curls in place as the hair dries. And then over the days, if you're not someone who manually breaks the gel cast, I do have a video on how to do that, but I typically don't do that. I just let my hair be. But either just over time, or if you actually manually go in and do it, the gel cast breaks away, but the hair, because it was held in place while it was drying, still retains the shape of the style that you were doing. So you still have all of that definition, and you have a lot less frizz, which brings me to my next level, which is curing. I have been asked a couple of questions about curing because it's a word that I do use in quite a few of my videos. And when your hair cures, another comparison is like when you get your nails done. You can't even see this color. It's a pearlescent pink. But anyways, it's like when you get your nails done. Your nails dry down to this point where they're dry, but if you were to rub across the nail, there's like resistance there. It's like slightly tacky almost to the touch. And you know that if you pressed hard enough, or if you dug your nail in there, there would be a dent in your nail that when it does dry and fully harden, it's gonna be there. Like, you know, you're gonna mess up your nails even though it's dry. Even though have we moved beyond using regular nail polish now at this point? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's the same thing with your hair. So if you're using botanical gels especially, they really do this. You can sit under the dryer to a point where your hair feels like it's dry, right? But then there's this slight like tackiness to it, like the feeling of product is on there. And the hair kind of is not sticky, but just tacky. So your hand's coming away and there is no like product on your hand. Your hair is not dripping, but it's not quite like it just quite has not formed that gel cast. It has that little bit of softness to it that lets you know that it's just not quite cured. And I happen to live in Central Florida. It is very humid here, pretty much 10 months out of 12. So if I go outside at certain times of the year, or most of the year to be real, and my hair is not at that certain level of firmness, it still has that little coating or that whatever, my hair will frizz and expand. So why am I talking about cast and curing in a video about air drying and heat drying is because when you air dry, it's difficult for you to actually get those things. So I have air dried my hair almost completely. I actually have video footage because I did a video where I like mostly air dried my hair, and then I think I had enough and I might have sat under the dryer at the very end of the day or something. But I find that when I air dry my hair, it gets dry eventually, kind of, sort of dry. It's not a one-day deal. It's a multi-day deal. So at that point, I'm keeping moisture on my scalp. I may even lay down and sleep with moisture on my scalp, which is a breeding ground for all types of nasty stuff that could be on your scalp. And then I just don't fully get that gel cast, and I don't fully get that curing. So the hair is still a little sticky and tacky, and it doesn't quite firm up and make that firm cast. And so as a result, my hair doesn't last as long. So you may be getting away with air drying your hair and it's not super frizzy, but you may not be getting the maximum number of days that you could possibly be getting out of your hair. Of course, since I brought up heat drying and air drying over the course of this video, I have videos to send you to. Here's a video where I show you completely how I heat dry my hair from wet, stepping out of the shower, to fully dry. And then here's that time that I actually decided to air dry my hair for the day. And you can definitely see from beginning to end how my hair is beginning to expand and swell. Subscribe, I post videos every week, and I'll talk to you in the next one.